Okay, before I put these on the windshield, I had to go over there and put them on the windshield like this. I had to go and check each one of those bars that are going to hold up the windshield, make sure that they would go all the way in and at least line up with the bracket on the chassis where they bolt to. The two big half-inch bolts. There's going to be two half-inch bolts holding that whole rail on, or that whole windshield arm, I guess you call it, and then 3 screws holding that arm to the windshield on both sides. So I checked the bar over here to make sure it was going to fit. It was off a little bit. And when I say off, I mean down inside there where my finger is. I had to cut this firewall down a little bit to get the body to fit on. And when I did that, I ended up making that slot that's on there a little too short. So I cut it down a little bit to compensate for it, but it still wasn't short enough. So I had to reach in there with a chisel and just kind of cut it back and then twist it off. So I got the piece off. I got the rail to fit in there well. But I just wanted to point that out, that I had to do that in case anybody is getting to that point and does what I did. But anyway, so now these stainless steel screws are going to go into a piece of brass. There's a piece of brass slid in here. I'm assuming if you want to take it out, take this weather stripping off and slide this out. And I know that you can get a stainless steel one. I forget who sells it, but I think it's probably Finish Line or something like that. And the reason why people change them out is because this is brass, stainless steel. Brass is going to lose. And there's not too many threads in there. I think I'm kind of counting about 6 or 8 threads, and that's it. So you got to be real careful with it. That's part of the reason why I want to take those, test them in the holes right now before I go over there and start finagling around with the whole windshield. Okay, got the windshield arms, legs, whatever you want to call it, on. Not too tight, but they are tight. That's a brass strap through there, so yeah, was kind of taking it really easy with them. But anyway, let's get this thing on. All right, got the windshield in, not permanently or anything, it's just sitting in there. Had kind of an issue getting it to line up. I had to kind of jerry-rig a prying process. There's nothing to really pry against in here. So your windshield goes in right along here. So I needed to pry against it. Well, there's nothing to pry against. Other than my dash here, which that's not going to happen. I'm not going to destroy it. So I had to take a wrench, put it in there above the windshield shaft, and then twist it to get it to slide along the chassis here. The only way to do that was to put the screwdriver in there and then twist it like that. So got it to work. So it's in right now, but I still have to take it out. I got to mark it, drill the holes, and all that jazz. So right now, still got some blue tape in here. So for right now, I'm going to leave it here for tonight and then get started again tomorrow. But I know I got to measure 27 inches from here to here, and it's pretty much set at 27 inches right now, so that's the way it's going to sit. So that's it. Gotta say, it's really starting to take shape. Okay, the windshield's in, sitting in here. I may need to grind this out just a little bit of the fiberglass body just to push it forward just a tiny bit, depending on how the holes line up that I just marked. So you got to measure from here, according to the book, from here to the center of this top screw, 27 inches. That's the rake of the windshield, 27 inches. So you got to prop it up with something, and you will need a helper probably, unless you prop it up really well. So measure 27 inches, then reach down inside this hole here to get to it, but it's easier for me to show it on video through here. Now you can see the chrome bar right there running along this piece of chassis hoop right here. So that chrome bar there, that's your windshield. The two holes there, that's the 1/2-inch bolts you got to put in there. So I had to put it in here and then mark it. Reach in there with a Sharpie and mark it. Once you mark it, you take the windshield out and cut your holes in it, and then stick it back in there. So it looks like the windshield bar is probably going to touch the top of the foot box here. So I'm going to end up cutting the end off that too. So I'll probably cut 1 inch or 2 off the bottom of that. But I got to mark or pull the windshield out so that I can get to that and drill some holes in them. You got to make sure it's all the way down here too. There's no gap where water or wind will come right in. So it's got to be the right height. I put a level across the top just to level it up. And then on this side, right in there, you can see the chrome bar there, and I've marked it already too. Had to mark it on the inside, so it's marked. Now I'm gonna pull the windshield out and drill some holes. Okay, got the windshield out. Windshield's out, and these are the marks I made with the Sharpie. I just stuck the Sharpie in there and just kind of kept coloring it in so that I got a really good mark. I couldn't really tell if it was making a mark or not, so that's why I did that. And if you notice, this one's off a little bit, so more than likely what's going to happen is this is the passenger side there, so I got to cut a little tip off here, probably cut about that much off. I don't want it to be touching and vibrating and making a bunch of noise. But this one, I think this one here is a result of the windshield, or this bar not being pushed forward enough, which would cause that hole to come back here. So that means I'm going to have to cut out a little bit of this body right here. I'll probably take out a 1/4 of an inch there. I can take out quite a bit because the brackets that cover up that hole, Factory 5 gives you, and that's these. So these will go in there like this, so there's a little bit there to cover. Well, that's exactly the size of this, but there's a little bit of insurance there. So yeah, I'll grind it out just a little bit. All right, I got my marks on here. I'm gonna knock this piece off the windshield, and I got my spring-loaded center punch and made my mark there and there. I'm gonna drill this and knock that off there first. All right, got some Amazon stuff. That's not Cobra parts. This looks like Cobra parts. Headlights, made in China. Of course, told you I wouldn't know the brand name. There is no brand name. These things are heavy. All right, see how these work. Okay, got the windshield in. It's in good and tight. Looks good. It's 27 inches from here, the center of that screw, all the way down to here. propped it up with this cane, held it in place while I tightened it up through here. You can actually see the 2 nuts on there, nylock nuts, washers on each side. It's easy to get to this side. This side over here, it took a little bit more finagling. Yes, you can reach through the engine compartment to get to it, but it's very tight. You can see, anyway, you can see that one. You can see that one there. That one, the other one's up behind the windshield wiper, but I was able to get it tight. Had to reach through this vent here to get a hold of it with the other side, and then this side with a ratchet. So it's definitely a 2-person job. You're not going to get to it from this side because it is boxed in. There's no getting to it from that side. So I did use the file and take that back just a little bit. It looks like it might be up against it right now, but whenever I take the windshield off for paint, I'll go ahead and cut that out just a little bit more. It looks like I'll be able to. The chrome pieces that'll fit in there will cover all of this real well, so that shouldn't be an issue. All right, moving right along. It's door time. Okay, I got my roll bar trim rings in from Mike Everson with Mike's replica parts, and pretty cool product anyway. Very quality. I recommend Mike Everson for his replica parts. So far, they're doing pretty good. I'll probably order a few more things from him. But anyway, decided to put this roll bar in. This is, I guess, one of the drawbacks of putting your interior in first, is you're going to get it messy, doing different stuff with the body especially. But that's all right. It's going to get a lot dirtier if I use the car the way it should be. The dust on the dash and all that. It's an open top car, just like Pete's Snakebite Kit on YouTube said. It's an open top car. It's going to get dirty. And if you use it right, it should be dirty. So I got this roll bar in, and I'm going to drill the holes to put the screws in. I still have to take a little bit of body off right there where it's rubbing, but I ended up having to file out quite a bit to get them to fit right. But that's all right. That's what it's about. So I'm gonna take them back off, drill some holes. That one's right on the edge. Drill some holes and get this one in. All the holes lined up here, and got the windshield in and got it tight. So that's where I'm at. All right, decided to stick one of the headlights in. Got the headlights on, the switch on, plugged it in. They're kind of weird. They're not exactly looking like 1960s technology, but then again, I guess I don't really want that with the headlights. It's just the top LED and then a reflection. I guess it will look quite a bit like an old one, but I don't know. Either way, the top one's on and it's super freaking bright, but it's got kind of a line, just a line there. And then when you turn the bottom one on bright, it gets really bright. And flip the brights on. So it looks like there's like 2 LED pads inside there. Obviously you can't see them while it's on, but so very bright. Yeah, see the little yellow square there? That's one of the LED pads. And then here's the other one there that reflects off of the mirror there. So yeah, super bright. Alloy construction. I mean, they're tough. These are very tough. I think, yeah, that's Lexan. That's not glass, that's Lexan. And now aluminum. So Lexan and aluminum. It's got a huge connector back here. Almost looks like a coaxial connector. It's a screw-in type. And then you got the plug. Get that in there all the way. But anyway, yeah, that's it. These were 99 bucks off of Amazon. And if anybody's wanting the exact number and everything for these lights, 7-inch LED, headlight, ... amp, Unishine. It says 2 pair, but I guess there's two pieces. Yeah, there's 2 of them. No name on it at all. Come with instructions, but for this setup, it's simply plug it in and play. Didn't need the adapters. It did come with adapters, but you don't need them. I guess this is for like a newer vehicle. No name at all. Oh well, they work so far. When I cut this windshield bar here, this bar, it's chrome plated brass, which, if you know anything about chroming, they usually plate it with brass first, and then they chrome the brass part. Okay, so this bar here is chrome, so I figured it was chrome steel. But it's not. It's solid brass. These are the pieces I cut off the end to get it to fit. It was a little too long, so these are brass, solid brass, chromed. Both of them. Thought that was interesting. Why they would use brass, I don't know. But it's brass. I believe this part here, along here, is probably brass too. I don't know for sure, but this bar here is brass for sure. And then that little strip of brass in there that's like a long nut that connects all 4 of these screws in, that is brass too. Because you can order from Whitby Motors a stainless steel one. You probably have to take this rubber stripping off or just slide it down and then tap the brass one out and then slide your stainless steel one in. But so far the brass one's working fine for me. So far. All right, I got the roll bars on, bolted in. I got the rings here lined up, got them marked. So I gotta put a small hole in there, screw these down. Now, keep in mind, I'm just putting it together. This is not finished. It's just putting it together, then I'll take it all apart and paint the body. But after a real good deep cleaning. Anyway, I got this wheel back on. This should be on for now for the to make it legal, to take it and get it legal. I don't have my inner fenders in here, so I do still have a little bit of movement. As you can see, there's no inner fender there. Windshield's in. What do I got here? I still haven't went to do the headlights here. I'm gonna do that later on tonight, more than likely. My garage is closed up, but any grinding or hacking or whatever that I'm gonna have to do, it'll keep my neighbors up, so I don't want to piss off my neighbors yet. We'll let the engine do that. So I'm going to stop on this, or got the roll bars done. I'm going to do the headlights later on. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and take this this piece here I got out of that donor Mustang I tore apart for the rear end here. But anyway, I'm going to take this neck out that I was using for just driving the car around the neighborhood for testing purposes. Once I get that out, I'm going to go ahead and put the Lamaze cap and put this hose and that tube in here and get it done and button it up. Well, I'll put it all together, lock it down, and then put the wheel on, and then I'll have both back tires on, ready to go. This front wheels, I'm not going to put those on just yet because I got to cut this for the pipe to fit, because that's not going to fit right just yet. So I'll have to hack that out just a little bit. Once I do that, I can put the wheels on, put the pipes that are sitting over here. Front wheels, pipes, headlights, that gas cap there. And then I'm on to the trunk and the license plate light, which license plate light is definitely something that needs to be on to get it legal. And then I'll work on these damn doors. This is the filler tube. When you fill your gas up, or you put gas in your tank, it goes down and right into the tank. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably know that already. Alright, so I got the new tube in. This is the tube from the kit. I may need to bend that to push it in, hold it in tighter. No, maybe not, because it's going to bend out like this. And that sits on like that. So now this big old piece of rubber hose here, I'll have to cut that down. Looks like I'll cut it down about right there. So about right there to the 5. Yeah. So good thing they give you a little extra. somebody commented one time about, he said, 15 minutes in your video, your dog's eating your car. I'm like, yeah, the dog's eating everything. Can you lift up that Lamaze cap? Just lift it up a little bit. All right, go ahead and push it down in there, twist it. All right, gas cap's on. Looks pretty good. Now the ground wire here, I'm not sure exactly where the book says to mount that. I still have to tighten these up, by the way. Once I tighten these up, then I'll figure out where I'm gonna mount this ground wire. All right, got the ground strap in. I wanna make sure you put that ground strap in because you don't wanna have any static electricity. Cause this fumes to get a spark right here where the fumes are going through, and boom. All right, so if anybody's interested in these China lights, this is pretty much the difference. This is the factory 5 light that you get in the kit, and then this is one of the China lights I got off of Amazon. So just to give you an example of how they look, they're pretty much the same. The mounting and everything's about the same. This is with the one bezel there wrapped around it, ready to go into the bucket. You got a 3-prong plug here. This is a sealed beam light. The three-prong plug there. Well, you got the 3-prong plug here. It's just on the end of a wire, so it's gonna work the same. The prongs here are a little longer than these prongs. Well, maybe not a little bit longer, but they won't fit all the way in the socket. So I may end up cutting them down just a little bit, just grinding them down a little bit, just because otherwise there's like an opening where the prongs are exposed. But anyway, other than that, they're pretty much the same. They got the same little mounting lug there that this goes to. So anyway, I'm gonna get these things in. Okay, so the driver's side headlights in. Chrome, a little bit of chrome, then a ring of black. All right, that's the housing of the China lights. So if anybody's planning on going with these China lights, if you do, just know that there's gonna be that black line there. I don't care because this car is gonna be trimmed in black. So I may end up powder coating everything that's chrome here black later on. But for right now, I'm not. I'm throwing it together right now for to get it legal. But anyway, it sticks out further, which I like, and then also you know, the big black line. So something for anybody to think about if you're going to go with the China lights. Looks pretty good the way it sticks out anyway. Well, she can see now. And this is what they look like. Okay, another thing, the instructions are vague, of course, but once you get the bucket and the gasket on there the way it's supposed to be, the screws that are supposed to go in there to screw it to the fiberglass body are way too short. So once you get them in here, that's all you got going into the fiberglass. That's not enough. So I had to use my own screws. So not only do they give you two shorter screws, but you do luckily get one extra decorative screw here to hold the bezel on right here at the bottom. So you get one extra for that, which is nice. Extras are always good. You got this right along here is everything that comes in one headlight bucket. This is the extras from the last bucket. So when you're putting these in, I had these in wrong. These short ones are the ones that go on the clips. They clip the bulb to the first bezel, the first chrome bezel. Use the short screw there. Don't use the long screw. Those screws there are just a little too long to use for this, and just a little too short to use for what they're intended for. So, and then you put the clip at the bottom. This clip, it doesn't really show this very well. It just shows that. It doesn't show it at all, but the clip, this part here, where it's got these little teeth that stick in there, that goes on the plastic. So basically where it goes on this is right here. If I can see it, I'm looking through the camera. So basically it goes on there just like this, and you push it all the way on. And basically what that does is when you take the screw out of here, it has a little bit of tension on this nice trim ring here. So that way when you take the screw out, it's not going to pop out or fall out. You got to grab this and kind of wiggle it and pop it loose. And when you do, the clip's going to come off too, unless you really squeeze that thing on there. But when it comes off, you just put it back on. But, so, again, the book's not real clear, so just sharing that. And you're going to have to get some longer screws. These won't work. Unless you take the gasket off altogether, which I don't recommend that. But. And another thing, whenever you set this on, this inner trim ring, whenever you set it on, obviously there'll be a light in here at the time. But whenever you put it on, you got these adjuster screws. Well, these adjuster screws go, there's like a slot at the top. Well, I can't take it back off one-handed though. But anyway, there's a slot right here in the screw. It's made specifically to have this bezel put into that slot. So that way, whenever you're adjusting your light, whenever you pull the light in, it'll go with it. Whenever you pull it back up, it'll go with it too. So the head will stop it, we'll keep it moving inward, and then this bottom head right here will keep it moving outward. So make sure you slide those in that slot. See that right here, it's missed. It's not on the slot, so you gotta pop it in that slot. And then once you do that, you can mount it directly to the bucket. That screws right in there. Lock it to the bucket. And of course, this would already be in the fiberglass. It would already be in the fiberglass. But again, this is not a how-to video. This is how I did. So, just sharing. All right, she's got eyes.